What's up, everyone? Tara Roberts here with 4 for 4, and just call me the Nostradamus of fantasy football because I am here to tell you 5 players that will be week 1 waiver wire targets. So get ahead of the curve and draft them now at the end of your fantasy drafts because they are coming in hot in week 1. Before we get started, remember to like this video and subscribe. And if you want more fantasy insights and tips, head over to 4for4.com/plans and sign up today for a subscription. And exclusively for our YouTube audience, use promo code YouTube at checkout to save 25%. Now let's go ahead and dive right in. Waiver wire ad number 1 is Rashee Rice, who is playing the Detroit Lions in week 1. Look, I admire all of the efforts that the Lions made in the offseason to bolster their defense. But at the end of the day, they still gave up the most yards in the NFL and the 3rd most passing yards in the NFL. And while they will improve, Patrick Mahomes is still going to light them up. It's unclear still if Kadarius Toney will be ready for week 1, and if he's unavailable or has to be eased back in since he's missed so much critical preseason and training camp time, or because he never even played more than 50% of snaps last year. Rashee Rice will have the opportunity to step up in week 1. Rice has had a strong offseason and had a very impressive preseason game against the Cardinals where he had 8 receptions for 96 yards. I've been big on Sky Moore to have as a nice second-year breakout after a disappointing rookie season, and because of that disappointing rookie season, fantasy managers have been burned by him, and absolutely nobody is talking about the possibility that Rashee Rice could be the one to have a rookie impact. A matchup against the Lions in a primetime game is the perfect time for Rice to remind everyone that Tank Dell is not the only receiver from Texas with big talent and big upside. Next player, if you have been following my videos, this next player will come as no shock to you because while others are fading the Packers pass catchers due to skepticism around Jordan Love, I am buying the dip on this incredibly talented group of young receivers in Green Bay. There's good reason Reed is such an excellent candidate to draft now versus waiting for him to have a high impact game and rush to the waiver wire to grab him. And the reason is Reed is less likely to be a flash in the pan type of player and more likely to be a mainstay within the Packers offense because he doesn't have to earn snaps or pass veterans or work his way onto the field. So we are talking about a guy who will be the primary slot receiver for his first year starting quarterback. Yeah, there is a good chance that Reed is going to make an early splash, so just go ahead and grab him now. My next guy could technically be more of a week 2 or week 3 waiver wire ad, but just in case, go ahead and grab him. Rumor has it that Chris Evans is going to assume some 3rd down responsibilities for the Bengals, and that's huge. We saw what Samaje Perine was able to do with receiving work, but it really goes beyond Perine's usage. Joe Mixon showed a significant decline in efficiency last season. His overall numbers looked excellent, but when you dive into the numbers, I'm worried this just might be the start of his decline in production. And if Mixon struggles, we could see production push to the number 2 back. The opportunity is strong within this Bengals offense for the receiving back, and Evans could have true standalone value if he's able to solidify frequent 3rd down work. I'd personally hoped Chase Brown would serve as the primary backup to Mixon and get that 3rd down work, but it appears that he is 3rd on the depth chart, and while he could still end up working his way into a valuable role, right now, it is Chris Evans that we want to target. Another guy that you want to draft now and miss the big rush for the waiver wire is Alec Pierce. I like Josh Downs, but Alec Pierce is the wide receiver 2 in this offense and will have more consistent usage and higher snap counts. Pierce will play opposite of Michael Pittman Jr. and will have absolutely no competition for his role. Pierce's ADP right now is kind of ridiculous. He's his team's clear wide receiver 2 who's had strong upside in the past with multiple double-digit fantasy points games last year in a horrendous offense. Anthony Richardson's play could be inconsistent, but no more inconsistent than any other rookie quarterback. And their presumed wide receiver 2s on those teams are being drafted above Alec Pierce. And I say presumed because those depth charts for their receiving cores are very unclear. Pierce, however, is locked in. But there's another big reason why I think week 1 in particular is when you want to target him and just go ahead and grab him now. It is because the Colts play the Jags. The Jags gave up the 5th most passing yards last season, and I don't see where that changes. The Jags will come out guns blazing and the Colts will have to counter. I love the early potential for Alec Pierce. And finally, let's talk about a rookie that is flying under the radar right now, Marvin Mims. Now, full disclosure, I promise that I wrote this list before Jerry Jeudy was injured. So by the time this video is posted, Mims' ADP is definitely going to be higher, but I think it'll still be well outside of the range of standard fantasy drafts final round, so he's still a guy that you can draft late in your late rounds and beat the waiver wire ad for him. Mims had a ton of hype around him heading into the draft. Ultimately, he earned a second round pick, but unfortunately that pick was to a very unappealing landing spot in the Denver Broncos. Production at the wide receiver spot for Denver was dreadful last season, and Mims still falls behind Jerry Jeudy and Courtland Sutton, so basically we are hoping for a Hail Mary from Sean Payton to reverse this offense and make it productive enough to support 3 fantasy relevant wide receivers for Mims to make an impact. The injury to Jeudy does help, but we're still asking for a lot. The Broncos' Week 1 matchup is literally the perfect opportunity for the entire receiving core to step up. A matchup against the Las Vegas Raiders. Again, you will see a trend with these guys that I have in this list where they have excellent matchups that could provide strong Week 1 performances and make them immediate waiver wire impacts. The Broncos' offense just has to get mildly on track to take advantage of the Raiders' defense. Mims could benefit and make an immediate impact. Thank you for watching this video. Be sure to like the video and comment below as well. And if you want more fantasy insights and tips, head over to 4for4.com/plans and sign up for a subscription today. And again, exclusively for our YouTube audience, use promo code YouTube at checkout to save 25%.